Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Andrew Stotz, and I want to welcome you to Careers in Finance, sponsored by Valuation Masterclass Bootcamp. Today, we're going to have an interesting discussion, and I'm looking forward to this. But I just want to welcome everybody to the show, and feel free if you have any questions along the way to ask those questions in the chat. Keep in mind the purpose of the Careers in Finance show is really to help young people and all of us as we navigate our careers and our lives in the world of finance. For me, I started working in finance 30 years ago. And from the day I started as an analyst, I've really enjoyed everything about it. I've met great people. I've had a great experience. I've had a positive experience, and I've had an ethical experience. I'm just working on a course on my ethics in finance course, so that's been quite fun. But the point is that I think that we all are entitled to joy in work, and one of the reasons why I'm doing careers in finance is to help people think about how do you get more joy in work. So, without further ado, I'm going to welcome our guests, and again, remember you can send any message into the chat as well as also you can ask any question in the chat, and I'll do my best to get to it. So, without further ado, Firdaus Ali, our guest for today. Maybe Firdaus, you can introduce yourself and tell us what you are doing, where you are, what you're doing, so that people can get to know you. So go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, a very big thank you for inviting me into this career in finance talk. My name is Firdaus Ali. I know it's very hard for you guys to actually pronounce my name, but I would like you guys to try it. Yeah, it's called Firdaus Ali. I'm currently a regional country manager for Fullerton Markets. Fullerton Markets is the financial trading brokerage house, which is based in Singapore, and now I'm currently in Malaysia. Basically, what I'm doing now is basically to manage the whole operation for Malaysia, Brunei, Middle East, and Turkey markets. So the clientele of my business is from these regions, right? And we also have some other offices around Southeast Asia, and we are currently opening up more businesses in the in the Middle East and also the African, right? So basically, what I'm doing here is to manage the whole thing of operation of brokerage industry, um, looking for business opportunities, working closely with business partners, increasing the sales and revenue for the company, and also expanding the business for Fullerton Markets, not only in the Southeast Asia, but like I mentioned just now, we also expanding our horizon to the Middle East and Turkey market currently.
And let me ask you, when you talk about brokerage, what does that mean?
We are doing online trading, which we our client is trading on the global markets.
Mm-hmm.
They can trade on the forex, they can trade on the Wall Street, they can trade on the commodities and some other stuff which can be traded online right now. So as you know, maybe you are aware that currently the online trading business has been growing tremendously over
Definitely.
the years, especially during the COVID, right? Where when everybody is sitting at home, they don't know what to do, and they start exploring this online business.
Mm.
So this is where the business is growing now.
So maybe just I'll take a moment just to welcome everybody to the show. And this is Careers in Finance, and our objective really is to talk about your career in finance and think about how to improve that and how
Mhm.
to get better and enjoy it and all that. I just want to welcome some of the people to the show. I know Momin's there, Momin's from Egypt, and so he says, yeah, it's kind of close
Yeah.
to an Arabic name, and
Yes, it is Arabic name.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we have Tirada, who's in Thailand, saying hello.
Hello,
And
Jordan.
yeah, and then we also have Ziba, who says Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
There you go. So we've got some friends out there, and I just want to welcome everybody on, and feel free to ask any questions. So maybe what we can do is talk about your journey in your career. Where did you start,
Mhm.
and how did you get to where you are?
All right. I graduated in year 2006. I'm actually graduated in the accounting, where I took a professional certificate in ACCA. I believe you are fully aware because you are CFA yourself, right?
Yep.
So after graduated in a local university, during that time, 2007, 2008 was economic turndown, right? So it was really hard to find a job. So I have to settle myself as a clerical during that time in the bank, right? So I settled myself for a salary around $200, right? It was like very hard to find a job that time, but after a year with that local bank, I got opportunity to actually move to another position, which is with an international bank, Standard Chartered,
Mm,
and that was when I took my opportunity to move to Standard Chartered in year 2008. In 2008, I spent there around 4 to 5 years. Um, I would say that during my tenure in Standard Chartered, I learned so much things because during that time, I learned a lot of things about international banking. I learned a lot about like AML, anti-money laundering. I learned
mm,
about foreign exchange as well. That is when also I learned a lot about how to trade on the financial market because I've spoken to some of the traders in Dubai, for example, and I learned a lot from him actually on how to trade on the financial market. And that triggered my interest to take it out from the banking world to the retail side. And then after spending like 4 or 5 years with Standard Chartered, I got an opportunity to actually move to another role, which is with Citibank, right? But of course, from the global banking, and then I moved to Citibank. It was slight different because I was in a corporate service. From the Standard Chartered, I was in a wholesale banking, which is more on the operation side. But then in Citigroup, I was in a corporate service. So I serve corporate clients for Malaysia, Singapore, New Zealand, and Australia, right? So I spent around 2 years there, and then I think I got the love of my job. I would say when Dukas Kope Bank, which a forex bank based in Switzerland, offered me a job when they opened their business in Malaysia. So I took the opportunities, even though it's something that very alien to me during that time because
mm.
I spent like 5 7 years with banking, and then when I moved there, right, it was like a total different environment, I would say. Right, that was the first time that I joined a brokerage, but Lucas Copy was a bank, right? So I spent there around 5 years, and then after spending like 5.5 years there in Lucas Copy, I joined Fullerton Markets, right? Even with a greater role and greater opportunities, because now I'm also managing not only Malaysia and Brunei, but also I've been given opportunities to managing the Middle East and Turkey market. Yeah,
And
I
so
think.
that's quite a journey. I'm just curious, when you first came into like the forex and all that,
Mhm, mhm.
how what did you learn? Like, what was some of the lessons that you learned?
Uh, during my in Standard Chartered,
I was thinking about the Swiss bank.
the Swiss bank. Big, I have the knowledge about forex industry back there in Standard Chartered.
Mm,
Just that I don't have the opportunity to really work with company who's dealing with all these trading activities, right? So when I was there, right, I learned a lot about how the business or how the industry been done from the back end, even from the front end, right? So open up more knowledge, more things that I don't know previously, but now I learn a lot about the trading industries or the financial trading industries in
And
because
when you look at the forex trading as an example, is it mainly individuals or companies trading, or is it companies hedging their positions for their imports, exports, or what is the main activities that's happening in the forex market?
uh, I would say it's combination of everything because our clientele is also as self trading clients. We have a corporate hedge funds companies also dealing with us, and we have a white labels company also working with us. Yeah, so it's a combination of everything. I would say.
Mm. I just want to take a moment and say hi to our viewers who are here. Ashwin, who's in Thailand, good to see you. Saying hello. Yep. And we got uh, Adeyame. I'm thinking from Nigeria, and we have Eshan, who's from India, saying, I'm an engineering student in my third year, wishing to know the various options in the field of finance for post graduation. That's an interesting one
Yeah.
because in my valuation masterclass bootcamp, I get a lot of people who are engineers that want to move into finance. And I find that they're very good because engineering is a structured type of learning environment. And in the beginning, when you're working in finance world, there is a lot of structure that you see. But maybe if you had any advice for a young person studying, not necessarily studying finance, but wanting to break into the field in some way, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, I agree. I will tell this story because our founder Mario Singh was actually graduated in engineering. He was graduated from Singapore National University,
Mm,
right? So he was the founder of Fullerton Market, and he was also um, graduated from engineering. All right. So this will not stop you from exploring a career or opportunities in the financial industries, just that you might want to learn something like in the financial industry we have the MSTA, which is the analyst certification, or maybe if you want to learn something very fast, you can also go into various social media that you can learn. I mean, YouTube is a very good platform that you can learn from, but of course be wary about the scam activities that happening on the social media as well.
mm,
So yeah, go and learn. I think there's a lot of classes happening outside there for you to actually gain the knowledge in the financial industries. And then I would advise you to go for the certification, because with the certification you can easily enter the financial industry, because without the certification personally I would feel that it's very hard, because um, it's a kind of different field that you have studied, right? So I would say that you go and take the certification. Look for MSTA, for example. I just give you an example of UK
mm.
certification. Maybe if you are able to pass that, and then maybe you can join the financial industry.
Great, and that's interesting advice, because I think that for somebody that's looking to hire a financial person and they get someone that comes to them from engineering, they're not against hiring them, but
Yep.
they want to see some commitment that you're willing to learn in the world of finance, let's say. So I think that's a great piece of advice, whether that's as you said, MSDS, I think it was that you said,
Yeah.
right? Whether that's MSDS or whether it's something like CFA, or
Yep.
even attend the valuation masterclass. We have a lot of people in that. Let's Speaking of graduates of the valuation masterclass boot camp, there's Opeyeme, who's in Nigeria, saying hi.
Hi.
And we've got another question here. So Dania says, thanks for your time. I'm Dania from Milano. I have applied for the position of Forex analyst and trader in Milan, and I successfully completed the first two interviews. The final interviews are scheduled for next week. And I'm interested in, let me just read the rest of it. Hold on. I'm interested uh, in any tips or suggestions you may have to enhance my prospects of joining the company. So that's coming from Dania in Milan. What tips or tricks would you say? She's already made it through the first two interviews.
Mm, mm. So you are, I'm sorry, you are waiting for the call from the company to actually telling you that you have been successful.
She's saying the final interview is scheduled for next week.
Oh, the final.
So she's
Okay.
passed, and she also has said it's more of a front office job that she
Okay.
mentions.
Yeah. I mean, if you have passed the first and two interviews and you are going into the final interviews, I would say that I think this is a very crucial point where most of the candidates failed the final stage because you don't really know the company, right? So you need to study the company from A to Z basically, and then you got to know everything that they do. Even it is better to for you to know the top management. Who are they? You know, there could be a possibilities of the interviewers will ask you about who is the CEO of the company, who is the CFO of the company, and I would say the final interview wouldn't be so technical because I believe that for Fullerton Markets, the technical part will be on the first interview, right? For the second interview, it would be more on the characteristic of you, right? So be yourself, be prepared about knowing the company, the top management of the company, and also, yeah, uh, take that opportunity to actually sell yourself. Yeah.
It reminds me of a book I have here. Where is that book? This book is called Consistency Selling, and the author is a guy named Weldon Long, and he started out from prison,
Wow.
and he had a 10 or 15-year prison sentence that he was serving, and he was trying to improve himself and wanted to live a better life. And once he got out of prison after many years, he tried to get jobs, and it was very hard. And then he had to kind of eventually start his own business. But whenever he faced the downtime where he just couldn't break in, he always asked himself, "How badly do you want it?" And Firdaus has given us a great answer to the question, and that is, if you want the job badly, go on the website and study everything you possibly can about the company, the products, the service, the markets they're in, the people, the CEOs, the heads. Have all that knowledge with you. Study it like your life depends on it, so that when you go into there, you feel comfortable and confident, and you've got a lot of good information. Look for what the company says is its mission, its vision. Think about those types of things as ways to go in there. And I also like what you said about how it's probably not going to be that technical. If you've made it through the first two, I think what they're really trying to see is, do we want to work with this person?
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
and I want to always recommend to everybody, I have a secret weapon for this type of situation, and I'll show you it. Smile. I'm telling you, smile. There's nothing better. It opens people up. People feel good. So, all right, let's continue on. We've got some other. Here's Moment says, what role does risk management play in your investment and trading strategies, and how do you ensure that risk is effectively managed for your clients in wealth management? Yeah, I mean, risk in the markets is critical. I'm just curious, what your answers are to that.
I would probably not the correct person to answer this, but I would like to share some of the knowledge that I have because this question should be answered by our risk manager because they
Mm.
know how to manage and deal with this risk management. But our company is we limit our risk by not offering too high leverage, because in the trading industry, some of brokers, they are offering the leverage facilities to the clients so that they can increase the margin. But also you have to remember, when you increase your margin in trading, you are also increasing your risk in the market, right? So we want to reduce, or not to reduce, we want to control this, right? At the same time, we are controlling our risk as well, our exposure to the market. That is
Mm,
one. Number two is we trying not to spend a lot on our expenses, right? We do not have like bombastic bonuses, right? We don't have uh, candies to be offered to our clients, so that we can control our expenditure, and we want to make sure that the business is can be sustained for a very long time. We don't want we are not here for 5 or 10 years. We want to be here in this industry forever. It can be the legacy to be passed to our children and grandsons, for
mm.
example, right? So I would say that in order for you to control the risk in the market, I know the market always full with risk, and the only person that can control it is ourselves, right? So from the point of view of, as a business, as a brokerage, we reduce the leverage. We don't give any fancy bonuses to our clients, and also we try to control our expenditure, so that we're gonna stay in this industry for a very long time.
That's great. And I just want to welcome everybody here and feel free to ask any questions. This is Careers in Finance, trying to help young people build out their careers. And just I want to just take a moment to thank our sponsor. So let me just pull that up. The Careers in Finance is brought to you by Valuation Masterclass Bootcamp. If you want to learn more about it, scan that code or just go to valuationmasterclass.com/bootcamp. All right, let's get back into some of the other questions here. Hold on. And 1 second. First of all, say hi. So there's Chua Sangboon. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining.
Hello.
Yeah. Also, Dania says, I don't want to do masters these years. What's a certification that we have as new graduates? So maybe the MSDS is one to
Yep,
consider then in that case.
correct.
Okay. And uh, Tiradas says, how do you deal with challenges and the risks of the foreign market? Okay, more on risk. So there
Yeah.
we go. We got a good answer on that. But let's continue on. Let's see what else we got. There's Lawrence who says, thanks for your time. I'm Lawrence. I'm in my final year pursuing an economics degree. I have no internship experience, would soon be out in the labor market. What can I do to position myself in landing roles in the finance industry? I have some ideas, but Firdaus, what about you?
Um, like the previous answer, you have to equip yourself with some other certifications. Like myself, I was graduated in accounting, but back then I don't know that there are a lot of certification that can help me into the market very quickly and very easily. So if you think about financial industry, that could be a lot of financial certification that you can obtain and master on top of what you have learned, or maybe you are a degree or master in economics. Maybe by getting the financial professional certification, it can be your added advantage when you are out there in the labor market.
Mm. Great advice. Also, Lawrence, we do have the Valuation Masterclass. We do have an internship. It's a 12-week, pretty intense internship where you get a huge amount of training and experience. So if you're interested in that, just drop me a message. Let's continue on and just talk briefly about the future. Some people say, okay, interest rates are up a lot. We have a potential hard landing, or do we have a soft landing? How does the current economic situation affect your business? And like, what are your thoughts on how to prepare for whatever's coming? Soft landing, hard landing, good times. What are some of your thoughts about it?
Yeah, we have been talking about economic turn down somewhere in the quarter 3 or quarter 4 this year.
Hmm.
But personally, I don't see any hard landing for the economic for the coming third quarter of in this third quarter or in the fourth quarter. But this economic thing, the world economy is full of surprises. They can be anything. They can surprise us with back then when we were talking about the 10-year economic recession, right? For every 10-year cycle, there will be one economic recession. We were talking about what could be the reason, what could be the thing that will trigger the economic recession back then before the COVID. But we didn't know that the COVID will be the reason of the economic recession. So while talking about you can be like talking about hard land or soft landing and hard landing, but the most important thing is you have to be ready what will be there in the future, right? For us, we are controlling our finance, right? We are controlling our finance. We are limited our finance so that we don't really exposed to the risk of whatever the situation in the economic in the coming future. And also at the same time, our industry is, I would say, is a very safe industry because it is proven, because during the COVID,
Mm.
while the other companies are stretching out and they are winding up basically, and they are reducing the number of their staff, we are increasing our staff because a lot of demand comes from the people out there during the pandemic, right? So I would say this industry will be growing and growing over the years, and that is but of course, like I said, we will never know what will happen in the future. While we are expecting the industry will be growing, we are also assessing some risk to it. So we are controlling everything from our end so that to make sure that when the market is not on our side, when the economic situation is not our side, we don't have to fire anyone from our company. That's
Mm.
the main point.
That's great. And I want to ask another personal question, which is, what do you do in your free time when you're not working?
Oh, interesting. Um, I play music, and last time I played futsal and I've played football, but in year 2019 I broke my leg because of football, so I have to retire early in football. So yeah, now it's music, and maybe I spend my free time with my families because now I have 4 kids.
Mm.
I'm going to have my fifth next month. So
Exciting.
yeah,
Fantastic.
so probably the entire of my free time will be spent with my family.
And what type of music do you play? You play like guitar or drums or something like that, or
I play guitar.
okay. And what's your favorite type of music?
I would say a
Okay.
rock music, yeah, rock music, and maybe some indie music. Yeah, I'm more into indie music.
Right. Okay, great. So I'm going to wrap up by asking you the final question, which is, what's three pieces of advice that you would give to a young person in relation to building their happy and successful career?
Yeah, okay. Number one is uh, I said this twice in this session, which is even though you have a very good degree with yourself, like myself, I have a professional certificate qualification myself, but to my surprise, that is not enough when you're out there in the labor market, right? So I have to equip myself with another certification. So my first advice to you guys is actually to equip yourself with additional certification related to the industry that you would like to join. For example, in this in this financial industry, there's a lot of additional certification that you can acquire. So look for them, pay some fees. I can't remember the fees, but pay some fees. You have to go through the exams and everything. Once you acquire the certification, I think you would have higher chances of getting into the job in the market. Number
Mm,
two is don't be afraid to take opportunities, right? The opportunities will come once, maybe. It will not come twice to you, right? If you very doubtful about yourself, right, you will not go away and you will not going anywhere, right? So my principle is I don't care about whether I'm ready or not. If the opportunities come to me, I just grab it and then I'll see what happened then, right? This has been like twice. I took the opportunity when I felt that I was not ready, but it turns out that, yeah, you know, my bosses, two of my bosses, and the previous, I mean, the previous one is in Citibank, and the current one always advised this to me: Firdaus, we will never know when you are ready. Grab the opportunity, you learn it along the way, right? This is
mm,
number two. Grab the opportunities while you can. Don't ever think about whether I can do it or even I cannot do it, you know, because you will never know whether you are ready or not. Just take the opportunities and grab it. Number three is don't stop learning, right? Even though you are now at a certain level of you maybe think that, oh, I know everything about financial, right? But you are not basically, right?
mm,
Back then, maybe 10 years ago, I thought that I was really know everything, you know, because I was the manager of in the bank, right? But when I jumped into the Swiss bank, right, apparently I was zero. So don't ever stop learning new things, you know. I would prefer, I would suggest you guys, the youngsters, to actually read
mm.
more books, because uh, watch many videos that can help you to grow yourself into this career world. Yeah, I think that are the three piece of advice that I can give.
And can you just clarify what is the certificate? Because I see that there's. I'm just looking on the internet to try
Mhm,
to
mhm,
find it. What
mhm.
what is the? Do you know the full name of that?
Okay. It is MSTA or CFTE,
Okay, let's see.
Certified Financial Technician.
Okay, certified financial technician.
Yes,
Okay,
you can put CFTE or CFTA, something like that. Yeah,
right.
it's
Okay,
Certified Financial Technician.
got it. Got it.
Mhm.
Because somebody was asking.
Yeah,
Uh, Fantastic. Well, it's great to get to know you and learn a little bit more about what you're doing, and I think it's inspiring. And we've had some great questions. In particular, I really enjoy the question of people that are like engineers and others that want to
yeah,
change. And I think you've inspired people. One of the things that I take away is the importance of certifications. And certification is a little bit of a evidence that we are willing to go a little bit extra than maybe the other person. I know for me, I went for the CFA to become a chartered financial analyst. It was hard as hell, but the certification, uh, I later went on to become the president of CFA Society in Thailand. And last night I just had a meeting with the board of directors of the new president and the prior presidents. And as I said, it was the best thing for my career. So in my case, CFA. There's all kinds of other
yeah,
technician and other types that you've mentioned, but I think to me that's the main inspiration of what you've talked about is find an area that you're interested in, learn more about it. It's not that hard to beat the competitors because
yeah,
most people aren't working that hard to improve themselves. So I think for a lot of young people, they may think that, well, everybody's doing that. No, everybody's not doing that.
yeah. I agree.
So go out there and learn. So uh, you and I will talk for a couple of minutes after this, but I just want to say to everybody, thanks for attending. And Firdaus, I want to thank you for joining. And that is the end of tonight's Careers in Finance. Stay tuned for our next Careers in Finance. And remember, Careers in Finance is sponsored by Valuation Masterclass and the boot camp at Valuation Masterclass. And you can go there and learn more about it. And maybe we'll see you in the Valuation Masterclass. Firdaus, again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yep, it's great to talk. And we'll see everybody on the upside.